This is the case of a potato farmer. A potato farmer went to pluck apples. He went to the apple tree, but he won't look up. He started digging the earth. Oh, if you let him dig, he will uproot the tree itself, which we are doing right now in pursuit of human happiness. Are we not ripping off the planet itself, the source of our life? We call this science. Science is all about, we want to exploit even a microbe. Hello? Not just an elephant. Even if there is an invisible microbe we want to extract, people are extracting protein out of microbes. God damn it, leave it alone now, they are giving us protein and everything. There is no substitute for life. Hello? There is simply no substitute for life. The greatest thing that's happening to you right now is not your education, not your music, not your love affair, not your nonsense. Life is the greatest thing, only because you're alive, all this, isn't it?
So actually we're gonna open it up to you guys now for some questions. I see one hand was already up as if you knew that was coming next. Yeah, in the back, please.
Oh, this is simple. Do you smoke weed?
What's that?
Do you smoke weed? Well, how do you feel about marijuana? Is it a good or bad thing for the brain?
You tell me, you're the one using it. Whether it's good or bad, but look at my eyes, I'm always stoned. Never used a substance, but always stoned.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because, as I already told you, this is a far more complex chemical factory than a plant, hello? Do you agree with me?
That's 100% true.
This is far more complex and sophisticated. If you don't know how to use this, then you can use a plant. Nothing wrong with the plant, poor plant. But you're ripping it out, that's up to you. So anyway, these days I'm being invited to all these under 25 conferences in India because they think I'm less than 25. So in Bangalore city, over 15,000 people are in an open space and a strong scent, the smell of marijuana is all over the place. It's not legal, but in India it grows everywhere, so… now he's thinking of going to India. So they tell me, Sadhguru, you have such an influence with the government, why don't you make marijuana legal for us? I said, why not? We'll make marijuana legal. And why just one thing? Let me make cocaine legal, heroin legal, opium legal, what else? You list it out, I'll make everything legal. Why do you want it to be legal? You want to smoke and go to the university? In India it's called smoking up. If you smoke tobacco, it's just smoking. If you're smoking weed, it's smoking up. You want to smoke up and go to the university? I said, why not? Why not? Why can't we do that? I said, see, we'll do one thing. We'll take you on a small plane ride and you're waiting, a little plane, two-seater, four-seater kind of plane. And you're sitting in the plane and waiting because they circuit a little thing and the pilot comes smoked up. You want to fly with him? They don't get it. They say like, maybe. I said, okay, you're not getting this, you need a major surgery. And the surgeon comes smoked up. You want the surgery? Oh no. So why are you saying no? You get it, your faculties are lowered, right? When your faculties are lowered, from now on don't say, I'm high, just say I'm low. We understand. You're low, you can't be given things where too much competence is needed. All right? You like to be low. Now I want to tell you this, life gets better only when our faculties are enhanced, not reduced. Hello? Do you think evolution has been wrong? Hello? You would be better off being a grasshopper, is that what you think? Faculties enhanced is enhanced life, isn't it? Faculties brought down is not enhanced life. So I said, at least I will not tell you what to do and what not to do. I'm not somebody to give you moral advice. All I'm saying is, when you smoke, you say, I'm low. We understand. Don't say I'm high, you're deceiving yourself. You're putting salt in your coffee and thinking it's sugar. This is crazy. So I won't tell you what you should do, but you must test and see, does it heighten your faculties or lower your faculties? Right now, because you don't know how to handle your faculties, the best thing is to put it to sleep. Hello? When you do not know how to handle your intelligence and the capabilities of being human, the best thing is to put it to sleep. You know, if you do this to a dog or a cat or a horse, if I say I put it to sleep, how do you understand? Yeah, put it to death. I want you to understand, if you go down, either in sleep, even normal sleep I'm saying, you're dead. Hello? You're dead to the world and to yourself, isn't it? So how long do you want to be dead in a day? This is something you must decide. How long? You have come here to live or you come here to die? Make up your mind on this, all right? I am not telling you any morality. All I'm saying is this. How old are you?
23.
23. 25 years ago, where were you?
Not here.
Not here. Didn't exist. How long you didn't exist? You don't know? Forever maybe? I'll give you another 100 years, okay? Okay? 100 years later, you'll be again dead. Yes or no? No? So, 25 years ago, you were dead. 100 years later, you'll be again dead. How long will you be dead? Forever maybe. Your life is just a little sparkle here right now, for a brief amount of time. In this, to realize the potential of being human, the time is simply not enough. In this, if you're sleeping 8 hours a day, what I'm seeing is 1/3 of your life you slept. All the best, congratulations. If you want to increase it to 12 hours a day, oh, really, you're doing great, 50% of your life you slept. And you think it's an achievement. Hello? You're here to live, to experience life as profoundly as possible, as impactfully as possible. Yes or no? Yes. But this, you need something that heightens your faculty, not something that lowers your faculty. For this, there is some work you need to do with this, to enhance this. If you own a car which goes to garage 15 days in a month, it's more of a nuisance than having it, isn't it? 1 day in a month if it goes, it's a bit of a nuisance, but okay. But 15 days it's in the garage, you can do better without the car. Right now, just see what kind of vehicle do you have, your body and your mind. What is the downtime it's demanding? I want to tell you, I'm not saying this for any other reason. Because you're young, you got the whole life ahead of you, I'm saying this. But nearly 26, 27 years, on an average, I slept only 2.5 hours. These days, I'm a little lazy, I'm sleeping 3.5, 4.5 hours sometimes. But still the level of activity has increased and so many things. Why I'm saying this is, we have come here to live. There is no substitute for life. Hello? There is simply no substitute for life. The greatest thing that's happening to you right now is not your education, not your music, not your love affair, not your nonsense. Life is the greatest thing, only because you're alive, all this, isn't it? But that you want to put it down and think you're doing great. Please don't do that to yourself. It's very important that human life is the peak of evolution. You must be feeling on top of the world, because literally you're on top of the world. Hello? But human beings are not feeling that way because they have just not learned to handle their own faculties. Their own hand is smashing their face. Their own mind is killing them. So, to handle this, there are many ways. You can soak it in alcohol and keep it, or you can keep it in a smoke screen. You can do many things, but that's not a solution. That is an avoidance of the reality. Am I becoming unpopular?
I'm sure there'll still be a lot of weed smoke going on. Yes, sir. We'll still have your hand up first. Behind you. I'm sorry.
I was just wondering, so you said that we're still trying to learn, like, how to live on Earth. What would you say is the right way to live on Earth, and is there even a right way to live?
See, instead of saying the right way means what is correct, what is incorrect, these kind of things will come, what is morally right, morally wrong. That's not what we're looking at. It's about well-being, all right? When do you feel well? Tell me. When you're angry, do you feel well? When you're frustrated, do you feel well? When you're fearful, do you feel well? Huh?
No.
No. When you're joyful, when you're exuberant, you feel well, isn't it? For what reason you're exuberant, for what reason you're joyful, doesn't matter. You're joyful and you feel well, it doesn't matter where the hell you are in the world, isn't it? Yes or no? At least that much you must do, isn't it?
Yeah.
That your experience of life here is pleasant. If you sit here, your experience of life is pleasant. Then what we can do in the world comes next. This itself is unpleasant. When this is unpleasant, if I touch that, that also will become unpleasant, isn't it? If my hands are not clean, I should not touch, isn't it? Hello? Misery means your hands are not clean. When you were a 5-6-year-old child, if there were no extreme situations, you were joyful by your own nature, isn't it? So at 5, if you're so joyful, by the time you're 30, you should be bursting with ecstasy. Oh, it just reverse has happened because we've lost our ability to handle our faculties. Your education systems are not saying one damn thing about this one. They're telling you what is in a cockroach's heart. Hello? What for? You don't know what's in this one. We call this science. Science is all about, we want to exploit even a microbe. Hello? Not just an elephant. Even if there is an invisible microbe, we want to extract. People are extracting protein out of microbes. God damn it, leave it alone. They're giving us protein and everything. First learn how to explore this, isn't it? But there is no focus on this. It's always about how to conquer somebody else and something else. No, if you take charge of this one, you will live wonderfully well. And when you're joyful, do you see you're quite a wonderful guy?
Yeah.
Hello? You are. This is true for you, this is true for everybody, you know. I've been teaching programs in the prisons, both in India and even in United States we did a few. Our programs are mandatory in southern India. I have worked with hardcore criminals. I'm working with long-term prisoners, they've come there for murder or more, okay? If you look at their history sheets, what terrible things they've done. But when they are with me, they are fantastic guys. Because if you keep them happy, they're fantastic. But if you meet that guy when he's angry, when he's miserable, when he's frustrated, you better not be there. But when you meet him when he's happy, this hardcore criminal is a wonderful, wonderful guy, all right? So this is the only crime you're committing. Out of your misery, you want to try to squeeze joy out of somebody or something. So it is instituted in the American Constitution in pursuit of happiness. Tell me, whether it is happiness or misery, where does it happen? Does it happen here in the air or within you? What happens within you? Why are you chasing it? This is the case of a potato farmer. A potato farmer went to pluck apples. He went to the apple tree, but he won't look up. He started digging the earth. Oh, if you let him dig, he will uproot the tree itself, which we are doing right now in pursuit of human happiness. Are we not ripping off the planet itself, the source of our life? What is this? All this in pursuit of happiness. Why? Because you're not happy. You think you're going to squeeze happiness out of this planet and every other life and every other human being around you. No, If you want pleasantness of experience or unpleasantness of experience, both happen within you. The source of your experience is within you. If you realize this, you will take charge of this. If you take charge of this, you will determine the nature of your experience. If you are determining the nature of your experience, will you choose highest level of pleasantness for yourself or no? Yes, what you want for your neighbor may be debatable, but what you want for yourself is very clear, isn't it? That's all you need to do. If human beings are joyful and sensible, we will find a way for everything. Right now they're in such states of misery and angst and nonsense, where everything they're colliding with somebody, isn't it? Just everything. You know, my skin, your skin can hit each other. Now you're okay now.
So you're talking about these faculties and being able to manage them. What are some ways that you would recommend to manage them rather than going to all these other substances or whatever that maybe are just really easy to get to?
See, the simplest and the most fundamental thing is the fundamental misconceptions you have about life must go. When I say fundamental misconceptions, were you born like this?
Born like this?
Like this shape and size and everything?
Well, I was smaller.
You were just this much,
Yeah.
now you became this much. How did this happen? Food that you eat, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what you call as my body is in a way accumulation of food and various other things, but it's an accumulation. Accumulation, yes?
Yeah.
So what you call as my mind is an accumulation of impressions, correct? So what you accumulate can be yours, but cannot be you, isn't it? See, as I'm speaking, I pick up this vessel and say, this is my vessel. You will think, oh, Sadhguru has some problem. But let's listen, everybody says he's wise. After some time I said, this is me. Then you will say, let's go. Because now you know this is the case, isn't it? But this is what you're doing every day.
Wow.
Food appears on your plate, you say, this is my food. You eat it and then you say, this is me. Same case, isn't it? The only advantage you have is, everybody is in the same state. That's the only excuse you have. But that's how it is in an asylum. Only the doctor is nuts. Right? Everybody's fine there, isn't it? So, you have to make this simple distinction. What is you, what is not you? What belongs to you and what is actually you? This has to come into your experience. For this we have a very simple process called Isha Kriya. It's freely downloadable on your phone. For a few days, for 15-20 days you do it with support. Afterwards you can do it by yourself. Please do this. Bring a little space between you and your body, between you and your mind, because these two are accumulations that you have gathered and you have forgotten. Yes? Once there is a little space, this is the end of misery. Because there are only two kinds of suffering, physical suffering, mental suffering. Do you know any other kind of suffering? No. If you have little distance between these two and yourself, this is the end of suffering. And suddenly you know what is the nature of your body, what is the nature of your mind. See, people have been walking upon this planet for so long, but the argument went on whether this planet is round or flat. Now, burn all the damn textbooks that you read. Walk up and down on the street and tell me, is the planet flat or round? Still flat in your experience, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. When did this argument really settle? Human beings started flying, went up there and looked down, clearly it was round. We went and stood on the moon and looked down, 100% round. No argument anymore. Yes or no? Why? Little space. That perspective you need when you're stuck in something, you don't see what it is. A little space Suddenly you know the nature of your body and the nature of your mind. If you do not know the nature of anything, do you believe you can deal with it well? If you buy a phone, what phone do you use? Oh, that's old. Now, if you buy a new phone, should you read the user's manual within the first 3 days or after 3 years when you're discarding the phone? When should you read it?
In the beginning.
Yes. I'm asking, this most sophisticated gadget that is given to you, have you read the user's manual? That's all your problem is.
Well, first and foremost, thank you for being here. For me, it took me kind of creating some distance between my experience of having to survive to even see the need to to do the inner engineering, right? So I have a background in teaching, and so even before I could teach the students, a lot of times it was like you got to get them to see the value in themselves and all these things. So, and I guess my question is, from a standpoint of somebody who's like an oppressed people, I know that the need is there for people to do that inner engineering, but people who have already done that work, is there a need to challenge those kind of systems of oppression, in your opinion? And if so, how do we do that? Does that make sense?
See, unfortunately, human beings have taken to these modes how to enslave everything around them, not just human beings, not this and that, everything. Because our idea of well-being is to be on top of everybody. They taught this to you in kindergarten. They told you, your mother told you, you must be number one. What should I be? Beneath you? What should he be? Beneath you? What should she be? Beneath you? All of us should be beneath you. You must be on top of all of us. Wrong thing to teach, isn't it, from the day one? I went to school in a certain way. I went there only when it was absolutely necessary. And one day I came home and intimation had come to my father that I'm 33rd rank in the class. He asked me, how many children are there in your class? I said, 33, of course. The highest number, I thought. Hello? 1 is a puny little number, 33 is a good number. So this whole thing is just this. We are not recognizing the value of life. We are recognizing only if I stand on your head, only then I am seen. If I sit here, I am not seen. This is a silly problem that we have gotten into. Right from day one, parents, teachers, adults, society, everything is telling you, you got to be ahead of everybody else. Well, when you are just a child, you try to get first rank. When you become a man, depending on your strength, whether you will enslave 2 people, 10 people, whole generation, we don't know, isn't it? We are hoping that you will not be competent when you have such intentions. Because I'll take an extreme example. See, there are any number of Adolf Hitlers in the world, fortunately impotent, with the same intent, with the same emotion, with the same ideas. There are any number of them, fortunately not with the same competence. So when did human competence become a curse? Because we're pitting it against each other all the time. Instead of enjoying your competence and my competence and making something out of it, we are pitting it against each other. Now, if I'm really competent, naturally, I'm naturally going to be another Adolf Hitler. Yes? Because we're setting it from day one. On the way you may give up because you may not have the heart to do it. But that guy was super competent. See, the problem is only his competence. Do you believe there are no millions of other people who have similar emotions and similar ideas? Are you naive enough to believe that? Hello? No, there are lots and lots of people Fortunately, they are not such great organizers. So, we have to just hope. See, now when things happen like this, like our friend at the corner said, the best thing is if instead of being violent, instead of killing, instead of being constantly on top of somebody, better you smoke and sleep. Yes, that's how you will look at life. Because this is the argument people are putting to me. No, Sadhguru, people, smoking people don't do anything, they just… Yes, I know that. We can give you an injection and you can sleep. Yes, for good. See, I know there's so much bad press for the dead, but have you ever had any dead person coming and beating you up in the face, something like that, oppressing you? They're the best guys. Hello? Sleeping and the dead are the best people on the planet, isn't it? Hello, have you met such good people anywhere? Sleeping people and dead people, they are the most wonderful people because they never harmed anybody. But is that the way? Is that the solution? To be alive, to be full of possibilities and still be a tremendous possibility for your life and everybody's life. That is the important thing, isn't it? By taking away possibilities, you think you've solved a problem. No. If you remove all the possibilities, there will be no problems, all right? To keep all the possibilities and then not be a problem, this takes some consciousness.
All right, thank you. Put your hands together. Take on the stage.